This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Do you take this woman as your lawful wedded wife?
Ooh, yeah! Oh,
Place the ring on her finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
Hello and welcome to With This Ring, episode 30. I'm your co-host Ryan Everett.
I'm Cindy Everett.
And today we'll be continuing our look at the GWWE Greatest Wrestler Ever poll. Mm-hmm. And this time we went a little different from our first pick of Daniel Bryan as far as style of wrestler, I would say.
Big time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, from like the ultimate underdog to the ultimate kind of, well, he wasn't always the company guy, but usually he was.
Yeah, well, he kind of was from the get-go, but
right.
Got differing levels of it throughout his run.
Yeah, it's also different because Daniel Bryan like scrapped around the world for 10 years, right. And then Rocky Maivia, nepotism punk, shows up not knowing what the hell to do. Right.
So we'll get to that. But first, the big news in wrestling this week, that was, it even leaked to your people.com update.
Yeah.
Scott Hall passed away at 62. Mm-hmm. And just wondering, first, quick, Scott Hall, what are your thoughts on him?
On Razor Ramon?
Razor Ramon, yeah, we mainly watched him as Razor Ramon.
Good wrestler, always kind of an interesting physique. He was always a little too, wiry for my taste. Where are you going with this? Are you trying to lead me?
No, just kind of. Oh, just wondering.
Current events. That was sad.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he deserves to get credit. Talked about because in WWF he had the ladder match, which was
that's true.
Like legendary, and someone was saying today, like there was recently on the network a show of Shawn and Razor like rewatching the match and doing like their own commentary over it, and Scott Hall's like, everyone always talks about how it's your big match, but I walked out with the belts, man. No one ever mentions that. No, and then of course when he left WWF, he was the founding member of the NWO, which
obviously
did not result in a lot of great matches, but resulted in like turning the business around. So
yeah, he's
pretty important.
Good name to have, person to have on your roster.
Yeah, and really, I mean, he's a guy who. Well, he's got demons, King. He's got demons. And really, he kind of was done in 2002 when he would have been, I guess he was 40. He
was old back then for wrestlers.
Yeah, but I mean, still, like, look at guys now. Like, yeah, he was done wrestling a full-time schedule, but, like, nowadays, guys would have, a guy like him, if he had stayed healthy and stuff. Like, Kevin Nash wrestled in 2011.
That was 11 years ago now.
Well, yeah. Now, I'm not saying he would still be wrestling now, but he could have had another 5 or 6, WrestleMania matches if he had stayed healthy. But there were bad indie shows where he'd come out all drunk and fat. Oh. And then luckily DDP came around, as he is wont to do.
Oh, that's right. He's one of his turnaround stories.
Yeah. So he was he's in the Jake the Snake documentary, halfway through it, is when he goes into the house also. And then eventually, though, he was pretty clean. He got inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2014, along with Jake. It was the DDP trainees Hall of Fame class. And then he made appearances throughout the last 5-6 years, just when they'd have Raw. Raw Reunion and all those types of shows.
Yeah. He was young.
Yeah. But he was having a hip replacement surgery, and he had complications from it, and then he had 3 heart attacks.
Yeah.
I mean, that basically is what... I mean, he was put on life support just for his family to get there, but, yeah. But, yeah, a great career, I would say, and...
Where's he on your list?
That's a good question, actually, because, I mean, he's got the good matches, but not a lot. Let's see, Razor. I have him at 30. I think that's... And, you know, the last couple of days that's been my treadmill match, one or two 1994 Raws with Razor Ramon.
There you go.
Is very over with the crowd. Like, that's the thing, like,
he always
93 through 96, they were smaller crowds, and that's when Raws were in, like, literal high school gyms and stuff, but the crowds still get loud for the guys that they like.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's only 3,000 people going, so there's other 3,000 diehard fans in that area.
Absolutely, yeah. That are coming out to the high school.
Right, to the Bushwood Center, or whatever it was called the one time, for like
Bushwood?
8 Raws. So yeah, Scott Hall, salute.
R.I.P. Pouring out.
Yep.
Then, but this weekend it's all about The Rock.
It's all about the great one. Dwayne.
The great one?
The great one, yeah. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He was... To give a quick rundown, I lost, and then I ordered again his biography, his autobiography, which...
A book?
Yeah.
Did he actually write it?
No. And it's pretty good for like the first 2/3. It came out... This was the second book that the WWE put out, the first being Mick Foley's, which he did write.
Yeah.
So this is the first under the format that they envisioned of just, you know, the guy talking to an author and ghostwriting it. So the first 2/3 of the book is really good. It's like funny, insightful look at his young life, which is crazy because his grandpa was a wrestler, his dad was a wrestler, his grandma was a promoter in Hawaii that got like charged for extortion, supposedly, of trying to run another Hawaiian promotion off the island.
Nice.
So and he was a bit libido filled. He's getting like a blowjob in the park at 11.
Oh my goodness, really?
Something crazy like that.
Sounds like it's a little traumatizing.
Well, I think it was like with a same age girl. It wasn't like...
Oh, wow. All right.
I'm not sure on the ages, but there was definitely some young loving that was going on in the book. Then he goes to Miami when they are the U.
The peak years.
Yeah. But unfortunately, and he was a nose tackle, big guy. He was recruited. He was an All-American. But then, unfortunately, his sophomore year, they signed a guy named Warren Sapp.
Oh,
who even you
I've heard of Warren Sapp. I have.
So that's...
I'm thinking he's a football player.
That tells you that he's like a Hall of Fame level football player if you've heard of him.
Yeah. What did the University of Alabama Birmingham?
They play next.
Oh, okay.
Harry's picked to go all the way.
The Dragons must do well for his bracket, the integrity of his bracket.
I mean, my bracket's busted anyways already, so...
well, maybe here he'll do okay.
Although he had Kentucky in the Final Four, and they're already out.
Oh, well.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So he kind of flounders then at the end of his career in Michigan because...
Oh, he transferred to Michigan?
I mean, Miami, sorry. Miami.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's a Hall of Famer in front of him.
Right.
So he gets, like, time here and there, but not enough to make a big splash. Doesn't get drafted.
Did he want to play football? Was that his
I mean, that was his career at that point. He thought was going to be as a football player.
How come they don't mention every 7 seconds, like Brian?
Well, they have to mention that he's a triple third generation wrestler.
Yeah, okay.
They bring that up a lot, or like in his early matches.
Yeah, not so much the later ones.
Well, yeah,
but
I mean,
formed, bald The Rock.
No, when he's Rocky Maivia, every time they talk about he's a blue chip prospect. His dad was Rocky Johnson. His grandfather was the High Chief Peter Maivia. Yeah, they bring it up a lot.
Yeah, in the beginning, but he was terrible in the beginning.
Yeah, they needed stuff to talk about. But anyway, so he goes. He's not drafted. He's not called for an NFL team, so he goes to the CFL.
Okay.
And there's a old wives' tale, and I think he tells it in the book of like how they were practicing and Stampede Wrestling was on, and someone like threw down the TV like, oh, who cares about that fake crap? And The Rock like was like, hey, that's my family's
legacy. Yeah.
So I don't know. That kind of seems like it was just thrown in the book for
what, like that, like turned him to go like.
Well, he did. So then he did go to. He moved back down to like Miami, where his parents were living. But they like weren't doing great either because Rocky Johnson's career kind of.
What was Rocky Johnson wrestling?
Like late 70s, early 80s. Like he was big in WWF like right before it exploded.
Gotcha.
Like 83, 84.
And I always thought he went to UT because his symbol was the bull.
No, he went to Miami. That's for sure.
But why does he use the bull everywhere?
I think he just liked the image of a bull.
He never talks with that in the book.
I don't remember that. No.
Well, that's what I want to know. That's what I'd like to know about it.
Well, maybe I'm sure he's had like 4 autobiographies since then, like all his Fast 9 movie talk.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in all those.
Yeah.
Him and Vin Diesel don't get along,
right? Right. That's why they had to like split it up into like The Rock has his like sideshow, and then there's the Vin Diesel, and now they replaced The Rock with John Cena in that version.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was like the evil brother. I've also never seen any of those movies.
I didn't know that.
I think John Cena was like the evil brother. Right?
I don't know. I've only seen the one where The Rock clotheslines a nuclear missile and it goes the other way or something.
Well, that's how physics work.
I mean, have you seen The Rock's arms?
We saw a lot of his arms.
Yes. So eventually he asked his dad to train him because he knew that his dad wouldn't want him to get into the business. But the only way maybe he could like do it is like sweet talk him into like have you train me so it's done the right way.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So he does that, and luckily because his dad is who he is and
pulled a lot of strings.
Yeah. Well, one of Rocky Johnson's best friends in the business was Pat Patterson, who is like the 3rd most powerful person at WWF at this point. So he's called down to his gym to get like a show of what he can do. And Pat Patterson's, like impressed, but says like you got a lot of seasoning, but you got a good base. And then like a week later called him back and said like he talked to Vince McMahon about him. He got him a tryout. So his first match was first match ever professionally was in front of a 10,000 seat arena, like a dark match against the Brooklyn Brawler.
Wow. Yeah, a little bit of a different trajectory than Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was, that first, not WrestleMania, it was Royal Rumble, right? Did we watch that for this, or were you just watching
we were just watching it, yeah. Yeah, so 96 he wrestles in, like, he's signed right after the 2 matches, gets a developmental contract, so they send him down to Memphis for some, like, seasoning, but, like, 4 months later, he's back on the road with them. He has a tryout match, kind of, with Owen Hart.
The one we watched?
No, that wasn't his tryout match. So then he debuts at Survivor Series, comes out like in his weird tribal gear outfit,
like made out of like tissue paper.
Yeah,
or like what are those, like streamers?
Streamers, yeah, green and like blue streamers.
Yeah, that was quite the look. I'm sure did he make that himself?
No, I'm sure like some costumes.
Yeah, it was a little,
but yeah, it wasn't
they didn't
great.
Put a ton of effort into that.
Yeah, so they have him being the blue chip, like happy to be here guy, and like it's weird because that headdress kind of like seemed Samoan, but it doesn't really. He kind of plays up both heritage he has.
Yeah,
you got a Nova Scotian black dad and a Samoan chief as your parentage, so it works.
Your matriarchal line. Yeah, I didn't know he was Canadian too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's 2 spots. That's a twofer.
That's check. Yeah, so we watched Survivor Series. They said he's beefy and slow, and everyone's trying to make him look good. It's like they're wrestling in slow motion.
Yes. Yeah, it was very like wrestler versus wrestler trainer match type of spot, like you'd see in the 1980s like territory shows. But I mean, that's what he's gonna do.
To his credit, he did come into his own. It took a while. I think nowadays you'd want to be like Brian. You need to be fully formed before you go to WWE.
Right. Yeah.
Where he was very much like it. Like
this was at a time where like they were trying, especially this time, they were trying to develop their own stars, And if there was a guy that they were really behind, they would give him as many tries as he
got a
needed.
lot of tries. And I think, having the lineage, I think, helps too.
Yeah, well, I think that's like why he got signed, because, I mean, Pat Patterson's going to see him, and, 1995 Rock is a good-looking guy, so already he's got points on the Pat Patterson scale of rankings.
Like the pretty boy. He's like a real pretty face.
Yeah, he's
photogenic.
Yes, The Rock had it going on.
So that match, and then we watched the Owen Hart one.
Yeah, so he
1997.
February of '97, he wins the Intercontinental title from Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, it was quick.
Probably not very deserved.
It wasn't.
Were people annoyed?
It was no. Well, at first, so he came in hot at the Survivor Series, and then he started just being boring babyface, and then when he won the Intercontinental title is kind of when it started swelling up okay, this guy sucks. And I mean, it's really hard when he's the smiling, happy baby face, when then the next two segments are Steve Austin tearing apart a TV studio, and it's this is the guy everyone's actually cheering for.
Yes, oh yeah.
So it's quite the contrast in characters.
Right.
So I think by this time in April '97, for one thing, they wanted to make the Hart Foundation the super heel team, so they needed all the belts. And also, the Rocky Maivia project had kind of ended. Yeah. Needed to be push the brakes on it for a little bit.
Can't go too hard too fast.
You're right. So this is from April 27th, 1997. It's Rocky Maivia versus Owen Hart.
When did he start going by The Rock? Want to talk about that?
We'll
Okay. 1997, Rock versus Owen Hart. Getting better, still kind of slow.
Yeah.
Awkward transitions and combinations is what I wrote.
Yeah.
Mainly in the ring, not a high. Owen Hart wasn't really a high flyer either.
He did big moves every once in a while.
Pretty much, for the WWE, for Attitude Era, the fact they're even in the ring for more than 30 seconds.
That's it's early Attitude Era though.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it's not really until 1999 when they're running around.
Yeah, when every match is, if a match goes more than 3 minutes, it's noteworthy.
Yeah. Oh, that was WCW on the beach.
Yes.
That's right.
And then so Owen Hart wins clean.
He did.
And the British Bulldog is so happy he does a couple of loop-de-loops on the stage with Bret Hart. But I think this was a good match. It was probably at this point it was definitely The Rock's best match.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
But, because it's Owen Hart carrying him to a match.
That's true.
That's the best guy he had wrestled with.
Yeah, that's okay.
So.
That makes sense.
But, still a very, very good match.
You're right. I have to remember that I only see the good ones.
Right, yeah. There's some really, WrestleMania 13, Rocky Maivia versus the Sultan, which is Rikishi under a mask as an Arab guy who had his tongue cut off because he was a shoplifter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a match that happens at WrestleMania in 1997.
Well, the 1997 promos we watched, the race war story. Shortly
after he lost the IC title, he injured his knee and had to go for a quick surgery. So he's out 3 months, and then he came back to attack Ahmed Johnson, who was part of the Nation. Yeah. Because he was an Uncle Tom. Okay. So then The Rock joined the Nation.
Wow.
And they were the black. They were the black separatists. Uh-huh. Then you had the white nationalists who were on bicycles.
It was all fiction back then.
Yep.
You're on bicycles or on?
Well, on motorcycles, motorbikes.
Well, on bicycles is a very different.
Well, then come the Los Boricuas, the Puerto Rican street gang. Sometimes they would come out on bicycles.
I bet that sounds a little bit more accurate. The white nationalists.
And of course, white nationalists on bikes, black separatists, Puerto Rican gang. Who are the faces?
Oh, the white nationalists.
Oh, most definitely. Well, they had motorcycles.
Yeah. Some decisions that would not get made today.
Yeah. So that starts to change him though. So he's in the Nation for a little while. He's just the underling, but then he starts taking more ownership, and he calls himself The Rock. starts talking in the third person.
Yeah.
And this is about page 200 of his 300-page book. And this is where it turns to shit.
Why?
Because they decided once The Rock turned heel, the rest of the book had to be The Rock talking in character in the third person.
All right. So you're only going to read the first 2/3.
Yeah.
That's no good.
I mean, like, I don't know.
When did he get his music that goes, The Rock says...
That was that was like probably like March 98, like April of 98, because that's when the Nation, he became the leader of the Nation.
Mm-hmm.
So we see him have a feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yep.
Because Austin was kind of feuding with the whole Nation of Domination.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a fight with him and Farouk were fighting each other, and The Rock came in and stole the IC belt.
Okay, yeah.
So he's kind of always walking with the belt for like a month, saying it's his.
That's right.
And then the week before this, The Rock's having a match, and Steve Austin drives his truck to the ring.
Obviously.
While drinking beer, which probably not the greatest
not a good
idea, but it was a look at the time.
And this is, Farouk gets like thrown to the windshield.
Yes.
Because the truck's there again, of course.
Yeah, so Austin uses the car to take out the rest of the Nation.
Yep.
As one does.
Uh-huh. I said, very chaotic late 90s.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit better. Yeah, Austin knocks out the ref, of course. And he puts the stunner on the Rock and wins.
Yeah.
So was this unexpected? Was this kind of... It sounded like the Nation wasn't very popular.
No, but it was kind of like... This was like the rise of The Rock, though.
Okay.
Like, him getting this... I mean, it's the second biggest match on the card. It's against Steve Austin, who... He's not the champ, but he's basically the high... He's the biggest guy in the company at the time, really. Mm-hmm. So it was a big show of, like, confidence that they had in him. And then the next night, actually, is where the Steve Austin-Vince McMahon feud really starts.
Okay.
Because Vince McMahon is like...
Oh, my God.
Because you can't... Because you roll... You know, technically you should have been disqualified last night, so you have to defend the title against The Rock tonight. Mm. And Austin came out and said he doesn't care about the Intercontinental title. He's not going to defend it. And Vince McMahon is like going over his options, and The Rock just interjects out of nowhere. The Rock thinks you should fire him, Vince. And it was like, there's like audible laughter from the crowd. And that's like the point where it was like,
okay, yeah,
this guy's got it. And then the next 5 months, he has a bunch of shitty matches, but his character build is just tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where WrestleMania 14, they have special guest Jennifer Flowers, who, for those who weren't around at the time, or for you who were around at the time, you're like, who is this?
Yeah, when I was 14-year-old Cindy, I was not aware of Jennifer Flowers.
I mean, 12-year-old Ryan had no idea who she was. I found out later. She was the first of Bill Clinton's lovers
that was
to...
like maybe one of the bells going off in my head.
She was supposedly with him when he was the governor of Arkansas.
Right.
So, because this was the WrestleMania where all their guests were controversial.
Oh.
It was her, Pete Rose, who ends up getting tombstoned by Kane.
Nice.
And Mike Tyson, who was the referee in the title match.
When would the thing with Evander Holyfield happen? What year was that? Is that like he was the infamous guest?
Yeah, that was 1997.
Okay.
So it was while he was...
That was a big year.
He was the special guest referee at WrestleMania because he was banned from boxing, so he had no other way to get money.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when that happened too. Like, obviously, we were watching the match, but they replayed that clip.
Yeah, and they played it like on SportsCenter the next day, like just an air being spit into the.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not this podcast. The blood, but not like chewing off. Just biting people, but not biting off.
Yeah.
Body parts. But again,
biting him in the forehead, that's okay.
Right. No, it's not.
Well.
So there were some promos. So the 1998 promo that we watched, where he was like praying to God, like, my name's Billy.
Well, that's 1999.
Okay.
That's so.
We watched 1998. I said 1998 promos and 1999 promos. What was the 1998 promo we watched?
With Jennifer Flowers.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
the viewers
gotcha.
talking about like, ooh, the homeless situation.
Oh,
as long as those bums keep their Kenmore boxes off the Rock's palatial estate down in Miami.
Right. Okay, yeah. And we had that was 1998 was The Rock versus Triple H.
Yes, the later match.
And China was there, like very stern.
Yes, and Mark Henry was there because there was a clandestine Mark Henry China love angle always bubbling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were they really together?
No, like just on air.
Yeah, well, I know. Well,
no, on air they were kind of together, but then they weren't, and then China brings in a transvestite to have sex with Mark Henry. Because that's what they do in 1999 WWF.
Gosh, they were really problematic.
Yeah.
In the 90s. Well, I guess when he was in charge, it doesn't really be too surprising. But, okay, so this is the ladder match. I said that's better. I mean, The Rock's, and we've talked, like, and you've kind of, maybe just you've poisoned against Triple H. He's not that good of a wrestler. He's fine.
No, he's really good. This is, like, not the best he was, but this was a very good parody of him. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Yeah, and he does really good in this.
For me, I was just, like, biased about not thinking The Rock was a good wrestler, because he really wasn't.
He wasn't to this point, but...
I said they're both slow-moving, using the ladder a lot. Some moves better than others. Yeah, The Rock started bleeding. You can see his butt.
Yep. Well, of course. You gotta see
the booty flashed. And then, what else did I write down? Oh, Mark Henry throws dust. Was it dust or chalk?
Well, chalk, like, they call it powder usually.
Okay.
But it's just baby powder, which doesn't blind you, so.
No? That could have fooled me. The Rock gets close and China hits him with the low blow. Obviously there was going to be interference. Like,
right,
when you have, like, China and Mark Henry, like, staring him down.
Yes. China in her nice lime Nike power summer suit.
Obviously. So, I had a powder blue suit when I was in high school.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, you gotta bust that back out.
Oh, that thing's long gone. Long gone. Well, a couple more years we'll be back in style. Whenever we're revisiting the late 90s in fashion, I can go to the Limited and buy another powder blue.
I'll go to Kohl's and buy some sweatpants.
Well, that era's already back.
Yeah.
I do like see Harry with the sweatpants with, like, the elastic.
Yeah, that's how that should be. I don't like these loose sweatpants. They're too easygoing for me. I like a nice elastic band to let me know where my ankles are.
Yeah, I don't know. Now it's like you have, like, the loose pants,
right?
And you have the jogger. I don't know. For me, it's like leggings, joggers, the cuffs. But that's also a different podcast.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
All the different athleisure pants we have now. We're very blessed.
Yes. That is. We are truly living in the athleisure is acceptable age.
Oh yeah, that's everyone's happy about that. Or I am, anyways.
Yep.
So
this match, made both of these guys like superstars. Like,
really,
they were both very high mid carders, but both of them like exploded after. I mean, there's even like there's plenty of Rocky sucks chants, but then at one point there's like a regular Rocky chant. Like, he's getting over.
Was it still called Rocky though, or The Rock? Or like
The Rock, but I mean, even now he'd come out and the millions would be chanting Rocky. Just because it's easier to chant.
The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Doesn't have the same Rocky.
True.
Where it like bleeds into it. So then the next time he's on Raw, he's basically a face.
Okay, because
everyone's cheering him already, so he kind of turns face. But then at Survivor Series '98, there's the Montreal Screwjob 2.
Oh, 2?
Yeah, because there was a tournament for the title, and the finals was Mankind, who was Vince McMahon's choice to win, versus The Rock.
Really, Vince McMahon picked Mankind?
Well, midway through the match,
changed his mind.
Vince McMahon or The Rock puts on a sharpshooter, and right away Vince McMahon tells the ring announcer to call for the bell. So, Vince McMahon screwed Mankind and gave the belt to The Rock.
How did McFoley feel about that?
Well, they feud for the next 4 months.
Okay.
And then it's.
But I would think he probably wasn't personally too upset, was he?
Oh no, he was kept the storyline.
Yeah.
That was fine. And then eventually they have a Raw match where McFoley wins the belt. And then they have a match at the Royal Rumble where it's an I Quit match and The Rock hits Mankind with a chair 15 times.
That sounds about right.
Yep. And so The Rock wins the belt, and then Mankind challenges him to a rematch in an empty arena match.
Okay, I was going to say, because we're kind of entering the Mankind era.
Yeah.
So this was, you said this is 1999.
Yeah.
You said the halftime of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, so it was timed out to be like 20 minutes.
Okay.
And they had heat on USA like from 6 to 7, which is usually when the halftime show at least starts usually by, 6:45. So whenever that was going to happen, they were just going to cut into their usual show and show this match.
Oh, okay.
And they had it was promoted as, why watch a boring halftime show when you could watch, I think this was like was it like NSYNC, Britney Spears, and...
No, they didn't have a halftime show.
Oh yeah, there was definitely one of those.
Okay, what year was this? I'm going to look it up.
This would have been 99. Oh, this might have been like Aerosmith.
Oh, well then.
Aerosmith, Run DMC, and whoever. So it would have been the 1999 Super Bowl. The halftime show.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy?
Yeah, because it was in New Orleans, right?
Probably.
I mean...
The halftime show was titled A Celebration of Soul, Salsa, and Swing, featuring Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Stevie Wonder, and Gloria Estefan.
Oh, that's not too bad.
We can watch the whole video of it later.
I don't know if we need that.
This is Miami.
Oh, okay. Well, Gloria Estefan. Big Food.
I don't know. You're making your own conclusions.
Yeah.
Oh, the ref is Bernie Kukar. That's Bernie Kosar.
Bernie Kosar?
I think this is the one. Is this the one with the hologram ticket?
I think they had a couple of those.
Because we have my dad went to one of those. We have
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was like the coolest ticket. Cher sang the national anthem that
year.
I'm sure that was great. Yeah, I was gonna say. When I say it was great, I don't. Anyways, but instead of watching that.
Yeah. I definitely watched The Rock versus Mankind in an empty arena.
Either. I mean, I don't know.
Also, Celebrity Deathmatch was around then.
Oh,
yeah. It was 98, though, I think, when it was the halftime show.
I remember
Steve Austin was a big part of that to start.
So I did mention, I wrote this down, I was telling you at the time that when this match started, I'm like, oh, it's like a COVID match.
Yes.
Empty arena. 1999. And I mean, I get it was like very like hammed up for TV.
Yeah, it was. Right? Yeah, it was like played to the lowest common denominator.
Oh, absolutely! It was like a super sloppy double dare.
Yes,
plus wrestling. It was like in the ring for maybe 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then the next thing you know, Mankind's getting kicked down the flight of stairs.
Yeah. Which I mean, good for him. Like watching him, like how we would like.
How he turtled himself in.
Yeah. Kind of rolled in, make sure he didn't hit his head on
every single step, which he probably wanted to do.
Oh yeah. Like
so they fight all over the arena into the kitchen, and like that gives The Rock a chance. The Rock has all his little jokes.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. This is like you said, lowest common denominator. Like, doesn't like count as a wrestling match. It's like a performance piece. Right,
and as that, I think it's very good. It's like
you're right. That's like actually.
I mean, especially in 1999, this is like a good thing to have people. If they're bored of the halftime show, if they don't want to get the celebration of salsa from Gloria Estefan, they're just flipping through the channels, and they see, this good-looking guy beating up some guy in a mask with a bag of popcorn.
Yeah, that's good reframing. Yep. It's not a wrestling match; it's like performance art, and that definitely delivered. And they're literally everywhere, and there's conveniently a garbage can full of like styrofoam on top of the stairs, and then there's all the food, and then they like screw up the kitchen. They go into
Mankind!
Office.
No, he's all tied up.
Yeah, they go to an executive office. There's a beautiful woman working there.
Of course.
Obviously, she's the executive, not the secretary.
Well, yeah.
So they have once again, it's the ending.
Yeah, well, the ending is like Mick Foley wrote about this in his book that I think he was actually in an airport like at a layover and was watching this at the TV at the kiosk, at a bar in the airport, and people were watching it and noticing that this was the guy in it and getting into it and stuff. And he said as the forklift started to lower, everyone was cheering, and then they showed that picture of the camera from The Rock of The Rock's face, and everyone just shut up because it is such an odd shot because.
Weird.
Mick Foley even writes in his book that after they filmed it, he was walking off the forklift and he heard someone say, "Hold on, Rock, stay there. We want to do a couple of reshoots." And he didn't think anything of it, but it was apparently these
weird
the
shots.
forklift video. The
should have a GoPro
forklift
on
cam.
Yeah, just should have a GoPro on two at a time.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's really the Rock's got his super bug eyes out as the crate comes down to pin him, but he pins his shoulders to the mat and wins.
Not the mat, the concrete.
Well, yeah, the concrete to the ground. The ground.
Long way away from the mat at that point.
So Mankind wins the belt, but then he'd lose it about 3 weeks later to The Rock because they had to get to Rock versus Austin at WrestleMania 15 the first time.
Okay. The first once in a lifetime match?
Yes. No, this was no one. Everyone knew this was going to happen a hell of a lot. But
no, that was a 2012 one we watched. Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Right.
So a lot of matches, man.
I know. We're getting to a break. Don't worry.
Okay.
So next we went to Triple H at Backlash 2000.
And like little shithead.
Oh yeah, we also had the Billy Gunn promo.
Oh wait, the promos. That was a weird one.
Yeah. So Billy Gunn.
Who's Billy Gunn?
He was part of the New Age Outlaws. He was.
No, this was the. Oh wait, I have my notes in the wrong spot. This is the one I was thinking about earlier. Okay. Yeah. So this is where he did. The only reason it's kind of notable is because this is when he's debuted the "It doesn't matter" catchphrase. Oh, okay.
Because right now he's like, God prayed to.
Like, I'm Bobby. My name's Billy.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Well, Bob. My name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, I mean,
people.
Then the next night, that
minds.
was a T-shirt.
Yeah, people loved.
This was literally.
It was really good. It was a great promo.
Yeah, this was the point where The Rock would say something on a Monday night. That Tuesday night, there would be a new T-shirt out.
Well, gotta get that.
Yeah, I mean, this was every single thing he said was a catchphrase.
Yeah.
And then we also saw after this, we went to "This Is Your Life, Rock," which. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's 28 minutes.
It's that long. It was
There's
weird.
No ending, really, to it. Like, Triple H just comes out and smashes a cake, and that's it.
Yep.
And it is the highest rated segment in wrestling TV history.
As measured by who?
Like, Nielsen TV. Like, it is...
Really?
Outside of a Hulk Hogan versus Andre match in 1988 when ratings are very different. Okay. But yeah, like it was the highest rated segment ever.
That's weird.
Because
the Rock was so damn popular.
Well, it grew as it was going on. Like because it stretched 2 quarter hours, you could actually see that. Oh. Towards the end of the first quarter hour, people were telling someone to turn this on because it grew so much.
But it didn't end. Everyone must have been pretty disappointed. Well, what was your reaction when you watched it live? I assume.
Yeah, I didn't care like what it was just like that was awesome. Oh, like the whole thing, I just knew it was great, so I didn't care that because the ending. I mean, there was going to be a Triple H Rock match that night, so it makes sense that Triple H would be swinging a sledgehammer. He did that a lot.
He did like the sledgehammer, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a little phallic.
Well,
so then we go to 2000 though with The Rock versus Triple H at Backlash.
Those 2000?
Yes.
Oh, yep. Maybe Fast Start. This is the one where Shane McMahon was the
Yeah, this is the one where it's kind of weird because this probably should have been the WrestleMania main event. Mm. But instead they did a weird thing where they had a 4-way match and every McMahon had to be in someone's corner. Yeah. So the Big Show and Mick Foley were snuggled into it. And I mean, also they figured so Triple H wins that match, so they have a heel go over at WrestleMania. But everyone knows eventually the storyline is going to be The Rock being the conquering hero, so they book it for Backlash. So it's kind of like, well, everyone's going to buy WrestleMania anyways. Why don't we have everyone know they can see The Rock win the title at Backlash?
Kind of like speed it up a little bit.
Yeah, so, or like, spread the wealth to the lesser known pay-per-view.
Well, yeah, try to get that people to buy the lesser known.
Right, exactly.
It's all about the money.
Money is what it's all about. So
that's a relevant reference. Oh, he got chubby again after that. Superhero.
It's probably just so much. Both had so much muscle. You're gonna get some in your face.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right, so it's all right. He's in Stuber with Batista.
Oh yeah,
Camille. So, yeah. So, and this is like a total attitude error.
Yeah,
balls to the wall. Everything is
whatever
going on.
And then Steve Austin. Well, this is the one where Vince is like, oh, Steve Austin's not here.
Right. So originally,
Steve Austin's not here.
So Linda McMahon announced that Steve Austin would be in The Rock's corner since Vince McMahon was going to be in Triple H's corner.
Is Linda his wife or his mom?
His wife, and she's kind of like against him at this point.
Good for her.
So
let's say no. Yeah, we talked about it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so The Rock gives a very nice double rock bottom to Shane and Triple H through the announce table, which actually did screw up Triple H's elbow.
Good.
Like, it dislocated it for like 2 weeks or so. You could tell, like, the rest of the match, he's kind of like hobbled with it. So yeah, then eventually though, Steve Austin does come out. And he's got a bit of a gut because he's had neck surgery 3 months ago. Yeah. It's okay that he hasn't been working out. And he just beats the shit out of people with a chair.
Yep, this goes and kind of clocks everybody. It is like the refs, get switched out. And one does a lot of angry yelling and pointing.
And then, Linda McMahon comes out with Earl Hebner.
That's right, yeah.
And pushes Stephanie down and has Earl Hebner go in to count to 3.
Yeah, I did rate that. That's Stephanie and Triple H pairing. It's kind of like foreshadowing 2014.
Yeah.
Which I guess, for me, that was like, okay, I'm not as familiar with that dynamic, so I didn't realize by 2014, it was pretty played out.
Yeah, well, I mean, they gave it a rest for, 12 years in between, so at least it wasn't constant, yeah.
So they have children?
Yeah, they have 3 girls.
Okay.
And Shane has 3 boys.
Oh, great. Who's going to be showing up soon?
Oh, yeah. Declan McMahon is going to be a superstar very soon, I'm sure.
Great. I don't know. Sean's kind of I never liked Shane, and
yeah.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. All right, yeah.
Well, for a while, people thought he would be the savior, and but now it's turning out it doesn't look like that. I mean, he ended up getting fired after the Royal Rumble.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
because he tried overtaking the booking and stuff.
Oh, really?
To make himself look good.
Yeah. Well,
they're like, you must go now.
Yeah, it's kind of a trope, but yeah. Okay. But that's going to be awkward to fire your son.
Yeah.
Then we watched the promo without the impressions.
Right. This was right before Armageddon 2000. So he cuts on Kurt Angle, Rikishi, Triple H, The Undertaker, and Steve Austin.
Yep. No, I mean, I can definitely tell that why he has had a successful kind of music and movies career.
Yeah.
He's very photogenic. He's got that je ne sais quoi.
And he delivers lines where even stupid stuff like this, it sounds the right. It's in the right cadence and stuff.
Is anyone in his family who's in the performing arts besides the wrestling performing arts?
Yeah, I mean, just really his dad, really. But I mean, that was wrestling.
But yeah,
he was Soul Man, Rocky Johnson was, so he danced a lot.
All right, well, for him, it's definitely translated.
Yeah, he was able to turn it around, despite what some pretty British comedians think of him.
What?
John Oliver cut him up that one time last week.
Right. Yeah,
don't agree with that.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings about that show, but
yeah,
he should be taking pot shots at The Rock.
No,
that's like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah, Rock would crush him now.
In any sort of competition.
Yes.
Any singing, dancing, wrestling.
Yeah.
Sit-ups.
Oh, we're going to get to singing for The Rock in a little bit.
I know, that's true. That's true. Next we have I made a comment, I think, at Triple H versus Rock, how their skin tones were comparable, and then that's the leathery.
Yeah. So before we get on our next rip of matches, which is all WrestleMania matches, happy WrestleMania season.
To you as well.
We'll take a quick break.
Okay. Good transition.
Yeah.
No matter how you're doing.
Now, you guys used to be partners, tag team champions, but tonight there's no friends. It's every man for himself.
It's every man for himself. The Rock says this, Michael Cole, jabroni. how do you feel about the match?
Well, I think it's
It doesn't matter how you feel.
Wait.
1, 2.
There's 2 now.
It doesn't matter if the Rock counts to 3.
Oh, man.
What is your name?
I told you.
It doesn't matter what your name is. The Rock just wants to know, what is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is. How is it that you came up with the name Coach?
Well, actually, when I was a little kid, it was a
It
nickname.
doesn't matter how you came up with the name Coach. And The Rock sees you took the time to make a little sign that says something about Hunter. What does your sign say anyway? It doesn't matter what your sign says. Exactly who it is you had in mind for his opponents.
I tell you, Rock.
It doesn't matter who you had in mind. What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is. He was singing a happy birthday song to, what was that old lady's name again?
I think it was.
It doesn't matter what her name was.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
You gotta come quicker than that, dude.
That's right. All right.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
It doesn't matter how you're doing, Matt. See? How does it make you feel? It doesn't matter how it makes you feel. Oh no. No, John Cena, are you crying? Is that what you think? You think you're just gonna crush The Rock? It doesn't matter what you think.
How did it doesn't matter? Because it doesn't sound like a catchphrase. How did it work as a catchphrase?
Graham, what do you think you're gonna do tonight when we get in the ring?
Well, I think
It doesn't matter what you think. What's your name? Mark. It doesn't matter what your name is. I'll go right there, bro. Perfect.
Should I get an autograph? Oh.
And welcome back.
Hello, it's like Kramer during the Rob Griffin show.
Yep.
We've just been shoveling snacks on our face while listening to music the whole break.
Yep, that's all we did. We just listened to The Rock Says 18 times.
Well, it's just him saying The Rock says 18 times.
Exactly, so it's easy to get to.
Does Alexa know it?
Alexa, play The Rock Says.
Here's Electrifying The Rock by WWE and Jim Johnson.
Okay,
on
so
Amazon
Is it the
Music.
real?
this is from like volume 3 of the CD.
I was just gonna say they released CDs.
Oh, they have like, well, I mean, now it's all just to iTunes.
No, but I know.
Well, like they released like from '98 through 2003. They had albums they'd released that would chart on the billboards.
Really? Is there any other words besides The Rock Says?
Well, it depends what version. Sometimes you get smell what The Rock is, but mostly just The Rock Says. The Rock Says.
This music's a little like tepid, honestly.
Yeah.
There's some like killer guitar riffs.
Alexa, stop.
The Rock Says.
The Rock says.
But like when you think of like John Cena's music, or
Yeah.
I don't know. This one doesn't. It's not really gonna win any Grammys, I guess.
Yeah, well, I don't think they were really. The thing they wanted was a hook at the beginning, a noticeable hook at the beginning, like this, the glass breaking.
Yeah, the Steve Austin. That's the thing. The Steve Austin music's a lot better than this.
Oh yeah.
Alexa, play the Steve Austin music.
Glass shatters.
Here's Stone Cold Steve Austin by WWE on Amazon Music.
This is a lot more badass.
Yeah, this is much better. I think Alexa, stop. I think there's like an 8-second fair play usage music thing that we should probably try to adhere to.
Good point.
And not just listen to wrestling themes.
Playing copyright music.
Yeah.
Much like we had to watch the Rock one on YouTube.
Yes.
The very pants I was going to.
So then we got
the
to
leather face Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, so WrestleMania 18, and the week before this on Raw, the big main event was Steve Austin and The Rock versus Kevin Nash, Hollywood Hogan, and the recently departed Scott Hall, the NWO.
Yep.
And so that was like the big build up.
I was going to ask how they like wormed Hulk Hogan back into this situation.
Ric Flair became the co-owner of the WWF,
obviously,
as one does, and Vince McMahon hated him being his co-owner so much that he said the only thing he could do was kill the WWF. And to kill the WWF, he had to inject it with the lethal poison of the NWO.
Oh.
So the NWO came...
Wait, wasn't the NWO in WCW though? Talk about how that happened. How they come back to WWF?
Well, the WCW was out of business.
Wait, what? Oh, 2000.
This is 2002.
Okay, nope. Gotcha.
So, yeah, and all three of them...
2002? This was 2000.
This was 2002.
Yes, I don't know why I doubt you.
So all three of them actually had... Or, well, Scott Hall had already been released from WCW. And Nash and Hogan had their big time... Like, if you got so big in WCW, they didn't sign you to a WCW contract. You got a Time Warner contract, which was guaranteed. That's why, like, Goldberg didn't come right away when WCW was bought. He sat at home for 2 years getting all of his money from Time Warner. Because at first, WCW was offering these guys, like, 30%, like 30 cents on the dollar buyouts, and you can go to WWF. But they were like, well, I'd also just take a year off. I'll be just as hot.
Yeah.
And
rest your body.
Yeah, exactly.
Get in shape. I want a 2-year sabbatical right now. I guess in some countries that'd be called maternity leave.
Yeah, not here.
Nope. Different podcast.
Yes, again. So Hogan's back, and they go with The Rock because Austin did not want to have anything to do with Hulk Hogan. Didn't like him from in WCW when Hogan came in. Austin got depushed.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's no proof that he didn't like him. It's just he didn't want him to be around, to be the top guy around him. So he didn't like him. He didn't trust him. So they decided it'd be better if it was The Rock.
Gotcha.
So they have a feud. Leads to this match. There's at one point Hulk Hogan, The Rock is loaded into an ambulance, and Hulk Hogan runs into him with a semi-truck.
Oh yeah, obviously.
And The Rock shows up 2 weeks later. He's got some tape on his ribs.
Oh yeah.
So that really hurt him.
That's serious. I will say, even before this match started, I was like, I have very low expectations for this.
I could see that. And I was thinking the same thing at the time, but this is one of the matches where the crowd totally makes the match.
Oh, they were losing their... It's like I said, nothing's gonna beat that old woman in Cedar Rapids. She's my favorite.
Hitting Ric Flair with a cane.
Yes.
Well, actually hitting Hulk Hogan because she's trying to hit Ric Flair.
Yeah. We have to watch that after.
That's a good one.
Oh, it's so good. Also, remember the dumb, monster truck match?
Oh, yes. Oh, jeez. The giant in his full body tarp who gets thrown off the Cobo Hall.
Yes. Yes. So anyways, you're right. The crowd was like losing their
going
minds
crazy, and they said during the Fan Fest that week, the reactions that Hulk Hogan was getting, they were like, "Oh, Hulk Hogan's going to get cheered during this match."
Yeah,
which is not the original plan.
But people.
So they kind of wrestle it both ways, though.
Yeah.
The Rock has no problem healing it up with the one, he gets the belt and spits on it, and all of Toronto wants to kill The Rock, the most beloved, handsome person in the company.
Yeah, seriously, you'd want to. Yeah, that's poor judgment, Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so let's talk about the People's Elbow.
Okay.
Because that is a weird, kind of stupid.
Yeah, I think it kind of.
What was he? Rock Bottom. People's Elbow. What were the other finishers?
It was. I mean, that was the too big. Sometimes it would be the spine buster into the People's Elbow. I think that's actually how he won at Backlash 2000. Because he had already given 3 rock bottoms throughout the match. Sometimes you gotta change it up.
Yeah. Well, talk about the People's Elbow. This weird little dance.
Yeah. Well, I think
flailing
it
around.
started when he was a heel. In '90, he does it in the ladder match.
Why is it called the People's Elbow?
Because at the time, in early '98, when he was heel champ, he called himself the People's Champ.
Yeah, that's true.
So he named his elbow the People's Elbow. And then when he joined the corporation, it was the corporate elbow for a while. But then when he became a good guy again, it became the People's Elbow. And that's it's always been that. And, he always is the People's Champ.
He's the people's everything.
Yeah.
He'd be the people's president. People's leader. Leader of the free people, that's it.
I'd promote it. So,
I
him and Hulk
thought
Hogan.
he surrounded himself with the same people.
I think
but,
he.
Anyways.
Well, yeah, who knows? So, anyways, the Hulk Hogan Rock match.
Anyway, yeah, let's talk about something rational.
I think
it's like technically not a great match.
No, but
it's a good performance.
Yeah, I think it's very comparable to 12 years earlier in the Sky Dome when it's Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
The same kind of like just clash of the Titans. After a certain point, like they're done doing warm up, they just start throwing big moves at each other, and eventually, when Hogan hulks up after the first rock bottom, though, the crowd is like blowing the roof off the Sky Dome. It is
nuts.
ridiculous.
Yeah, he can definitely get a reaction.
Yes,
for sure.
Even his advanced stage, and it's not a technical masterpiece,
I didn't
but
expect it to be.
But it does what it's supposed to, and The Rock wins.
And everyone's very excited. Like,
yes.
Yeah, if you're going for like pure entertainment value, people are like losing their friggin' minds over this match.
And then the NWO come out. They're very upset with the Hulk Hogan, and
of course.
Then Hulk Hogan and The Rock team up to fight off the Outsiders, and shockingly, that was not the main event at the next pay-per-view, which I thought it should be. So this is another little Scott Hall interaction, just to say hey, because him and The Rock are kind of like ships passing in the night as far as their WWF career. Like Scott Hall left right before The Rock came in originally, and then The Rock was starting to leave for movies as Scott Hall came back in. Yeah. But Scott Hall's only there like 3 months in 2002.
Gotcha.
He gets very drunk on a plane. It's not good.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about his pivot into Hollywood.
Yes. So 2000, like Backlash. Actually, going back to Backlash, right after he won the title, he was gone.
Back to Backlash.
He was gone for 2 weeks. He was filming his part as the Scorpion King for The Mummy Returns.
Can't say I saw that one.
Really?
No.
See The Mummy? The Brendan Fraser?
I know Brendan Fraser was in it. But
yeah.
Ryan, we watched like 2 movies growing up: Ferngully and Austin Powers 2.
Yeah,
okay?
From like 1997 to like.
That's when we watched Austin Powers 2.
From like 97 to 2001, I probably saw like 150 movies. Like that came out during that time. Like not just counting like.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Chucky 3 that was always on USA on Sundays.
We were watching.
What are you doing, Charles?
We were watching Airheads on Comedy Central.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah, I was aware of The Mummy, but I never saw it.
Okay, but so The Mummy Returns, and he got like it's like a 6-minute part. It's not that big, but it was successful enough that they decided to make a whole movie about the Scorpion King.
That's true.
So that was like his first big.
Like, was this someone he chose? Was this something he got tapped for? Or like,
it was kind of like mutual. Like The Mummy Returns, like that small role that was like kind of designed for him.
And, like got bit by the acting bug.
Yeah, and they kind of he wanted to try and branch out into acting. Who wouldn't?
It's
a lot more. It's a lot higher salary and less.
You could do it longer in your life versus wrestling. Yeah, no, it's good.
So then,
but the fact he's able to do it successfully.
Yeah, so he does The Mummy Returns in 2001. He's out like half of 2001 doing that. 2002, he comes back for the match with Hogan, and then he kind of leaves again. Well, actually, he comes back and wins the title and loses it to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. But then he's gone until January. I think this time he was filming The Rundown with Sean William Scott.
Can't say I heard
saw
that one.
It was pretty good.
What was it about?
It was like Sean William Scott is like a rich kid that's like too freeloading, so The Rock has to bounty hunt him in like South America. Well, Christopher Walken, Sean William Scott's dad, and really wants to kill him or something.
All right. Well,
it's complicated.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, we'll watch some Rock movies later, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, but this man, so then after this, he comes back in Raw, or on SmackDown in 2003, and he's a total dickbag.
Wow.
Like, he's a big Hollywood star. Like, in the middle of interviews, he'll be talking on his cell phone.
Oh, yeah. Slashing that eyebrow.
Yep. So he starts a feud. Well, he just comes back and basically says the one thing he's never done is beat Steve Austin at WrestleMania.
Wow.
And that's all he wants to do. So him and Steve Austin start feuding again. And it leads to WrestleMania 19 at Safeco Field.
Yeah. We watched another WrestleMania 19. Oh, no, you're watching one of them days.
Yeah.
I'm like, I recognize this.
Yep.
Because there's a little Microsoft logo, local computer company. Well, we also watched the promos. Where was that?
Yes. That was, the Rock concert the week before
Oh, the Rock concert.
WrestleMania.
And his voice was...
We had to watch it on YouTube because, again,
Right.
the whole 7-second song thing, that's why
yeah.
it's not on the Peacock version.
Okay. Well, as I said, his voice is okay, not Moana level yet.
Yeah, but he's...
Like, he can pick out basic
carry a
words.
tune.
Yeah, you can tell he has pitch.
Yeah.
But,
And he's just singing the same song,
Right.
just with different lyrics. Of course, the best lyric being, The Rock will come back when the Lakers beat the Kings in May.
yeah, everyone, like, lost
Everyone,
their
yeah,
minds.
that was...
Yeah. People did not like that one. Sacramento. Not take kindly to that.
Yeah, Sacktown was not happy. So then we go to WrestleMania.
Well, then Steve Austin comes out.
Well, Steve Austin comes out and destroys the Willie Nelson sound guitar.
Yeah, that's not good. It's valuable property. So that was a real signature too.
Probably was.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably was able to go to Willie Nelson's bus anytime after that and just get another guitar design.
Was Willie Nelson there today too?
Huh?
Was Willie Nelson there that day too? Or?
Not that day. It's on signed 2001.
Oh, whatever.
So
yeah. So this is then The Rock versus Steve Austin for WrestleMania
19. Yep.
Yeah, I mean it was a good match. I said pretty clean out of the ring, of course, nothing too over the top, lots of finishes.
Right. Yeah.
Really no shenanigans. The Rock.
Yeah.
It was actually a very clean match.
Yeah. So
I thought
this
for
is WrestleMania 19 is like it has an argument with 17 for being the best WrestleMania ever.
Really.
And there's something really cool on the WrestleMania 20 extras. They made a movie out of like some of the matches from WrestleMania 19, and this match's backstory is crazy because Steve Austin had just come back. This was after he got released, or he basically quit because they wanted him to job to Brock Lesnar on Raw out of nowhere with no setup, and he was like, no, and he's like, I don't have a problem jobbing to Brock Lesnar. It's just jobbing to him with no story, no build-up whatsoever. He's like, it should be a SummerSlam or Survivor Series main event. It shouldn't just be...
Jeez, what's Brock Lesnar's got a Vince McMahon's family. He's always had a horseshoe up his ass.
Well, look at him.
I know.
I mean, and he's a great wrestler. Like, it wasn't... it's not like Brock Lesnar told Vince McMahon to book that match or anything.
Right, but it just seems like it's not about not paying your dues.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Yeah,
he was proven, though. Like, he was... Like, he didn't come up... Like, him and Kurt Angle, yeah, they came up and were champs right away, but they were good enough to be champs, so...
Yeah, we can talk about that. We can take that conversation offline.
I think... I'm trying to fit in a Brock Lesnar one. I think he's an interesting... His matches, he's wrestled for 20 years now.
That would be
off and on.
That would be interesting. I'll leave it at that.
Yep. So, anyways, though, so the WrestleMania 19, like Steve Austin had just come back from that incident, and the night before he was on drinking a bunch of coffee and energy drinks and thought he was having a heart attack.
Wait, who? Oh,
Steve Austin had to go to the emergency room the morning of WrestleMania 19. And, like, right before that, he had learned that, like, his neck was so fucked up he shouldn't be wrestling anymore. And he was like, well, I gotta do this match.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm done. And he said that, he told Vince McMahon that, like, 2 days before WrestleMania.
Wow.
Like, because he had just found that out. Like, he thought he was... I think the plan was always for him to lose to The Rock because the next month is Rock versus Goldberg.
Oh. We don't watch that?
It's not good.
Okay. Well, thanks. We're not.
We had a bunch of WrestleMania matches.
Yeah, very discerning. Very discerning.
It's WrestleMania month. They have a WrestleMania theme.
Okay.
So we watched 4 WrestleMania matches in a row.
Yes, we did. No, this is a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a lot of notes, but yeah, The Rock wins.
Clean, yeah. And
Yeah,
this
it was
was
very
so.
clean.
This was Steve Austin's last match to
Oh, wow.
this day, unless
Really, like his last match ever.
ever. Like
wow.
there's they're doing something with him with Kevin Owens at this WrestleMania, and it might be a match if Vince McMahon could throw him enough money. I think.
I mean, Steve Austin seems pretty stubborn, and also seems like he has a pretty good lifestyle right now.
Yeah,
so
I mean, he's definitely going to be a WrestleMania. They've said.
Right.
The whole thing is it technically a match? Is what they're not really addressing.
Okay. Well, up to him. But
I would just see him. It's fine if he just comes out, stuns Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
It's going to end the same way, one way or the other.
True.
It's just, is he going to put on the knee braces?
Yeah.
And, lace up.
Why doesn't he just do what they did at WrestleMania 30? Just grab a beer and chug it?
Well, he's got to stun someone. Yeah. I mean, at 30 he didn't, but I was hoping he stuns Hulk Hogan. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been.
But it wasn't to be.
So, the next WrestleMania was 2004, which is The Rock and Mankind.
The Rock and Sock Connection. Yep.
How did that come about?
So that was in 99.
That's like 5 years ago.
Well, yeah, but okay. Mankind, this was Mankind's first match in 4 years, so...
Okay. Oh, they didn't make a big deal about that.
So, so, they had been attacked, so they were kind of like... The Rock had problems with The Undertaker, and so did Mankind, so they decided to team up even though, they had been hated. It was empty.
Yeah.
Even though they had been, hated enemies, Mankind wanted to team with The Rock, so they team up and they become tag champs, and then eventually they have the This Is Your Life segment, which more people watch than anything ever in wrestling history.
We talk about that again?
Or I'm just saying that's, as the team was forming.
Okay.
And then they had a bunch of, memorable segments with them, and... So they don't really break up, though. They just kind of fall apart, and then Mick Foley retires in 2000, so they're not going to team anymore.
Right.
But then so Randy Orton picked on Mick Foley.
Why?
Because he's the legend killer, and he wanted to kill the hardcore legend. So he was picking on him, and then Mick Foley finally, came out to fight him, but then right away Batista and Ric Flair joined in for Orton, so they said, looks like you need some backup, and then the next week, The Rock returned. Everyone crazy.
Wait, Rock returned, from a movie?
Yeah, he hadn't been around since, WrestleMania 19.
Okay, so now he's like a Brock Lesnar type that comes and goes.
And it's even, it's pretty much once a year. Well, he wrestled at WrestleMania 19, then Backlash the next month, and then WrestleMania 20.
Okay.
So
he's busy.
He's busy. He was making Walking Tall.
That sounds familiar.
He's like a sheriff.
Nope, they're gonna Walk Hard.
Oh yeah, different movie.
Yep. So this was The Rock and Mankind versus Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair.
Yep.
And Randy Orton's also nepotism.
Yep. Oh yeah, he's same thing. Third generation star.
Third generation.
Yeah, Bob Orton Sr.
Oh, okay.
Was a wrestler as well.
Wait. So his name's not Bob. His name's Randy. Well, it's like a middle name.
Yeah, there's Bob Orton Sr., Bob Orton Jr., who's in the 80s with Roddy Piper, and then Randy Orton.
So how come it wasn't Bob Orton the third?
Bob Orton wanted to name his son. Give his son the original name.
Okay. Randy?
Faster Randy. From St. Louis, Missouri.
Is he from St. Louis?
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Maybe he was inspired Faster Randy. Anyways. So, this one... Yeah, Ric Flair kind of got to do his little stroke.
Yeah, I think the best parts of the match was when it was Rock and Ric Flair.
Oh, yeah.
And the crowd is just all pro Ric Flair, and he's yelling, "Come back here, you fucker," at The Rock when he moves.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Rock goes after all of them at one point. Yeah, this is a good one. Oh, and then Randy Orton gives Mick Foley their KO, and they
out of nowhere.
Of course, it's always out of nowhere.
Well, yeah.
You don't know where he is. It's
right.
Out of nowhere.
And this actually sets up a Mick Foley versus Randy Orton match the next month, the singles match.
Was that good?
Yes, it's very good.
Oh, yes, we haven't done.
We might do a Mick Foley month.
Oh,
I gotta figure out all the.
I would like to do Mick Foley month, but I kind of want to watch somebody we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, well, that's kind of I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll defer to your judgment on that one.
So then we get to, in the end of 2004, The Rock's contract kind of ran out, and it wasn't he's not going to sign with TNA at that point. He's not going to go anywhere, but they didn't really re-sign him. And he's gone for 4 years, like, completely. And then in 2008, he comes back to induct the High Chief Peter Maivia and his dad into the Hall of Fame.
Is that the awkward, like, hotel banquet? No, that was, like, a long time ago.
Yeah, no, this was...
What's that one I'm thinking of?
That's like the 1996 Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Or no, 2004, where it was like Jesse Ventura and stuff. Yeah, that was on WrestleMania 20, yeah. So this was... by this time it was in the arena adjacent to like the football stadium WrestleMania was in.
Right, yeah.
So where were we?
Rock's gone for 4 years.
Right, yeah, he's gone for 4 years, comes back to and then he's gone again for like 3 years. And then I remember watching this Raw. It was like February 2011, and they claimed the big thing was they were going to reveal the WrestleMania host. And the rumors were Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Justin Bieber. Okay. So I'm watching Raw at 9:50, and they're like, and the WrestleMania host is, and they like have a big light show. Like, oh fuck, it's going to be Justin Bieber. I could be watching a Simpsons episode over this.
Yeah.
And then the lights go out, and if you smell what The Rock is cooking hits, and I mean, the place went crazy. This was the first time in 3 years that it was totally unannounced.
Yeah.
So he sticks around, and it really seemed like they were setting up Rock versus John Cena right away for WrestleMania. He cuts like a promo right when he comes out and calls John Cena Fruity Pebbles wearing bitch because of all the different colored t-shirts.
Oh, okay. Always cooking up those catchphrases.
But they end up just having him be the host of WrestleMania 27, but he interferes in the Rock versus Miz match, helping the Miz win.
That sounds awful.
In the main event of WrestleMania.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
So then the night after that...
What year was Miz on Real World?
Like 2000.
Oh, okay.
2001 maybe. So the night after that WrestleMania, a year in advance, they decide that it'll be John Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania. They shake hands on it, and because it'll be in The Rock's hometown.
Miami again.
Yeah. So that's kind of like just the storyline for a whole year. It's kind of like whatever John Cena does. The next night, it's always like, well, he's facing The Rock at WrestleMania.
They really built that up.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I did write down that there are more performers than wrestlers at this point.
Yeah.
I think they're both very, very good. Well, John Cena's a good wrestler. Rock is a good wrestler.
They're very good. Yeah. Well, I mean,
but they're both kind of Hollywood.
They have their moves that they're going to. I mean, they're not going to do like a 5-minute wrist lock sequence with you, or do like 14 pin reversals.
Yeah, and then they'll kind of like strut around. Crowd loves it. And then, so the 5-knuckle shuffle is pretty much like the people's elbow.
Yeah, just a very theatrically flavored move. And John Cena's hubris cost him as he tries to do a people's elbow version of the 5-knuckle shuffle, and The Rock jumps up and hits him with a rock bottom, and that's it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, this is where our watching ended.
Yes.
But then the once in a lifetime had to become twice in a lifetime. And we had to have the WWE title defended. And instead of what they should have done was have CM Punk's title streak versus The Undertaker's undefeated streak. And
that would have been good.
That would have been a nice little thing to have as so you could still have Rock Cena end the match and the night, but it didn't need a title.
Right.
All you needed was John Cena to beat The Rock.
Yeah.
You didn't need him to win the title because neither
of them really. Yeah.
See, I think in the first match they had, kind of the storyline throughout the first 10 minutes is John Cena trying to wear down The Rock, I think.
Okay.
Because he puts him in a bear hug and chin locks and stuff, and the announcers aren't good at this point. But if they were good, they could put out this is The Rock's first singles match in 9 years. He wants to wear him down. He knows that if he wears him down, he won't be able to. His cardio won't be built up. Mm-hmm. And then they just start throwing bombs at each other, finisher, including the always impressive flying body press that John Cena rolls up into an FU.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both big guys, and John Cena just hoisted.
Yeah, and he's done it to Edge a lot, Randy Orton, but I mean those are big guys. But The Rock is 280 pounds of just pure muscle in 2012.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and then the 2013 match that we did not watch just kind of sucks because The Rock had no stamina in this one.
Well, yeah, he's got soft Hollywood life now.
Yeah, well, that was, and the problem after that, any match he would be in, they'd have to take out like a huge insurance bonus because of filming. So that's why he hasn't really done anything since then.
He's too valuable to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Now he's in Jungle Cruise or whatever.
Hopefully we could get him next year too. Just bow down to the tribal chief, acknowledge Roman Reigns, and get choked out by him in LA.
I don't think he's gonna do it. I think he might like come and bless it, but he's gonna. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, I'm tired.
Well, we gotta do our rankings.
I know. But
okay.
Just saying.
All right. So The Rock.
It's a good conversation, though.
All right.
You have to remind me of all these meetings.
I know. I'm gonna pull it up. The
Rock. Blazers.
Yeah, the Dragons.
I thought they were called the Dragons.
No, the mascot's a dragon, but
they're called the Blazers. They got a different mascot. Little Willie Nelson mascot.
Harry.
Who's gonna win? A cougar or
a cougar or Willie Nelson? We'd have to have a very stern talking if he picked the wrong way.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson at the Chicago Smoke Fest this year. We want to get tickets for that.
That one's right there.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the.
Why don't you put it in the one we're working off of so you don't have to keep toggling back and forth?
All right. So we have N for nuance, which is longevity, flexibility, and intangibles. J is jump up factor, which is memorable peak matches, moments, and storylines.
Be high on all of these.
Yeah. P is promo skills and character, and W is work rate.
What's work rate mean again?
Like the actual ability in the ring during a match.
Jeez, I think he's gonna be like 9s across the board for me. 9.5 for character work and 9s for everything else.
Okay, so nuance you would say is.
What's the technical wrestler one?
W.
Okay, he gets an 8.5 for that because he started that really bad.
Yeah, I was gonna go lower actually. I was gonna say that was an 8, and then everything promos I'd go 9.5.
Yeah, me too.
And the only thing I have against them is sometimes they get a little too much sing-songy, the same thing every time. But even when he'd do that, 95% of it would be the same, but he'd add in something Lillian, stop looking at the people's strudel.
Oh, yeah.
Just a random...
The buffet is closed.
The buffet is closed.
Yeah,
you got Grimace and the Hamburglar over here.
That was good. And then jump up. Yeah, Yeah, 9s. I'll give 9s to the other ones.
All right, I'm going to give him a 10 for jump up. Just because, from WrestleMania 15 through 19, even if he's not the main event, every match he's in is the biggest one.
Gotcha.
Hogan vs. Rock wasn't the main event, but it's the biggest match from that. And then nuance. 9. I'll go 9.5 just because he could be face or heel. The only thing, longevity does hurt him. I mean, he was around 6 years, and Bruno Sammartino's title reign was 8 years.
Wow. Well, it was a different time.
Yeah. I'll go 9, I guess.
I think our scores will be pretty much the same.
Yep.
So. I think it's be half a point higher. SC1. Yep. Enter. Equal sign. The other way around. Equal sign. So you have to explain Google formulas for you, and to explain me the...
Yep. So, okay, 36, 36.5. I think that's...
Yeah, it's really high.
Yeah, but he's really good.
But it is kind of like his technical wrestling is the lowest score, but it's like overall
and
package, yeah.
it was bad, but like
it wasn't that bad.
It's not 590. I'd say the ladder match is kind of like a turning point.
Yeah,
Like since
he
after
definitely
that,
comes into his own.
And he's very young in his career at that point.
I should be too hard on him. Like he gets better. It's just the first 2 matches were a little rough, but he comes into it. I think that's the thing though. Like nowadays, people kind of do all that like polishing off camera.
Right. Yeah. So in 2017, I don't know what was wrong with me. I had him.
Yeah, you had him way too low.
23. I had him below Triple H. What the hell was wrong? I don't know. I must have been in a bad movie. I must have watched like Jumanji and not liked it or something. But I liked that movie. I don't know. Some rock movie must have pissed me off.
Or maybe
recently.
you had an infant, so you were just not in the.
Yeah, that's true. I think I remember filling out most of my list while sitting at the National Tire and Battery store because I had to get all new four tires at my Accord.
Yep.
So that was fun.
I think he was in a bad mood. He took it out on The Rock.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Moving up on
he's moving way up. I felt very bad that I had him so low. I am moving him. He's going to be the highest riser in at least like this area. I'm putting him right below Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, because all these guys are like pillars of the company.
Right. Like if it was a Mount Rushmore, The Rock would be on it.
Well, I don't know. Technically, sixth. So.
Well, there was
2 Mount Rushmores. He'd be on one of them.
He'd be on the second one.
Yeah, he'd be on the second one.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
Yep. Anything else to add about The Rock?
No, thanks everyone for listening, for hanging with us.
Thank you very much.
You're watching some March Madness, you could probably tell while we were recording.
Yep.
So
we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.